Hey crafters, this is Mai here. So today what we are going to do is we are going to assemble our Valentine's Day tote. I'm going to be using my art glitter glue for all of my gluing here. And I also have my bone folder that I'm going to use to help me crease the edges here of my tote bag itself. Now, before I started the video, I went ahead and I did one side of my tote bag already, meaning that I just went ahead and glued everything down. So I'm going to tilt this way, and I'm going to go through the steps here of just gluing down these parts here. Now, as you can see, I have all of my pieces kind of in the orientation and the positioning of where I want for gluing, so I have an idea of what I'm going to do. I have these three pieces stacked on top of each other, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my art glitter glue here, and I'm just going to start adding a little bit of glue to the back side and right here along the little tabs that are going to hang over. And then all I'm going to do is holding it between my fingers, I'm going to line everything up and then just glue it down. And so that was pretty easy, right? I'm going to do the same thing now for this little lettering part. Now, for this one, it's going to be a little tricky to lay it all down, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my glue. So again, I'm using just a little bit here of my glue, just pressing it down gently as I'm going along and just being careful not to bend my lettering here as well. And just getting right there along the edges, all right? And so what I'm going to do, you can hold this with your tweezers if you find it's more comfortable. I like to hold things between my fingers unless they're really tiny. Then I'll use my tweezers, but for this one, I'm okay. What I'm going to do first, though, is I'm going to line up this edge right here and get it in the right placement. And then before I press it down, let me put this down here for a second. I'm going to hold it again with this part, and then I'm going to make sure that I get this piece lined up as well before I glue anything, before I begin to press it down there. So there we go. And then once I have those two, then I let go, and then I can begin to just tap it down. Okay, this just makes sure that I get the edges lined up first, and so I don't accidentally lay it too high and then I can't get this part to match, okay? So once you have that, then just make sure everything's pressed down. Then you're ready to just add some glue here to the back of this piece. And again, just making sure you get those little hanging edges. And when you go to place this down, you kind of want to eyeball or at least take a few minutes to make sure that you're getting it lined up and in the center. If you want, what you could do is just kind of use your bone folder here to kind of line it up where you have your other piece going first. I'm going to do it this way so it's a little bit flat, and that will kind of help with your positioning there. Okay, so I've got that piece right there. And now for the little tiny hearts. Now these are slightly different sizes, and all I'm going to do is just add a dab of glue to the four corners here. And then I'm going to use my little push pin, and I'm just going to pick up the little hearts and add them right on top. Now you can see that I really didn't use a whole lot of glue here. A little dab is sufficient, and that takes care of it. Perfect. Okay, so now we're ready to fold. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, again, begin just to fold right along my crease lines, my score lines here. And as you can see too, I probably didn't point this out, but I glued everything down with my score lines facing up so I could see everything. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier for me when I begin to glue. Okay, so I glued those two first. Now to work on the tabs, I'm just going to use my fingers to get things going. And these pieces are pretty big. So if you wanted to, you could just keep using your fingers and not worry about using your bone folder here. I'm going to go ahead and do both just because for this one. It's really just, I don't know, personal preference, however you want to do it there. So I'm going here and I moved things to the opposite side, and then I'm going to fold it the other way as well. Because we're going to be gluing on the inside and not the outside, because we want our design that's on the outside to kind of show through on the outside and not on the inside. So I'm just flipping everything the other way. But what I've done though in folding it both ways is I've really broken up the fibers there in the paper right along the score lines. So it makes it a little bit easier for the gluing process. I'm also going to fold right along here on this part, and I'm going to use my bone folder there for sure. Same thing here with the other side. And again, just making sure that I have it this way and then folding it that way and this way as well. Okay. And let's go ahead. Well, I'm going to let it go. Okay. So now we're ready to just kind of glue our sides down. So I'm going to start with one side, and all I'm going to do here is I'm adding the glue now along these tabs, because these tabs are what are going to glue the side here of my bag. And so I'm just pressing it there, making sure that I'm getting everything lined up right along the edge. Super important. You don't want it to go too far in and you don't want it to go too far out. You kind of want it to have that seamless edge, okay? Or the seamless appearance. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side. Again, adding some glue here to the tabs. And then once more, bringing it right there to the edge, and then just pressing everything down. I'm also pressing it here on the inside as I'm going along, just to make sure that it's all lining up and that it's going to end up being a little seamless there. Then we're going to do the same thing now on the other side. And then again, just pressing those together and allowing the glue a chance to bond and to adhere, because what we don't want is for anything to come apart. And this one is a nice size. I think it's probably about 5 inches here in width, if you're going there from the center. So this is a nice size that could fit some stuff, and it would just make a great little piece if you just wanted to kind of leave it on a hall table or something. That would work too. All right, so we're almost there, and just going to give this one a chance to dry too, and just to bond there. Super cute, right? You could actually leave it just like this too if you wanted. It's kind of adorable just the way it is here. But if you want to, you can go ahead and kind of add the handle. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add mine to the inside of the bag here. If you wanted to, you could add it to the outside, but then what you're going to end up having is this like hanging piece here, and it's going to be visible on the outside. So I'm going to add mine here on the inside. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of glue here to this long part of the tab, and then I'm just going to press it down right here on the inside. So that way the top of this bag here kind of lines right up with the bottom of where that heart would be. And again, you also kind of want to eyeball where in the center you want this to be. You don't want to go too far to either edge, but just kind of eyeball into the center there. And then you want to do the same thing for the other side. So again, just adding a little bit of glue right there to the tab. And then again, eyeballing where in the center you feel the center is, and then just pressing it down. And then you can glue it. And there we go. It's super cute. It's fun. It's adorable. It's got fun hearts for Valentine's Day. And so I hope you guys enjoy this craft. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Happy crafting.